are gonna get crazy!
Most everyone's mad here.
Why, hello, all you wonderful and beautiful people. Welcome to another exciting episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. And first and foremost, I would just like to say that I definitely do feel better than ever. Certainly much better than I did last week, because as you could probably hear, my voice is a lot clearer and a lot richer. The medication has definitely worked out, so I think it's safe to say that the laryngitis is almost gone or even completely gone. But what is even more exciting is that I'm actually not going to be alone for this episode. Yes, I actually do have a very special guest star with me. And unlike many of the other special guests that I have that are usually internet personalities, who I have here is actually a real film critic. Not just your typical reviewer. No, this is a full-on Rotten Tomatoes approved film critic and even a member of the Online Association of Female Film Critics. And not only that, she is also a great journalist for the popular animation website, The Rotoscopers, in which she actually did put up a lot of very fascinating articles, including just recently had a great interview with the director of The Mitchells vs. the Machines, Mike Rionda. So, please welcome to AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, the one and only Rachel Wagner. Rachel, what's up?
Hi, so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm really thrilled to be here.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. And especially, this is a very exciting week, and I figured why not? I want to go and share this with someone because we have some really fascinating stories to go and cover and some interesting news that would make us pretty hyped up for the future. In fact, just before we started this, you did mention that 2021 seems to be a pretty exciting year for animation, and I think what we're about to get into will definitely prove that.
Yeah, I think when you had so many of the animators working from home, and it just created a unique environment that I think we're seeing in some of these films, and I just feel like there's a lot of momentum going into this year. It's very fun.
All right. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. I just want to double check on something. Yeah, it's just... Oh, no, wait. Okay, never mind. Sorry. It's just for a moment that I was worried, like, oh no, is the connection bad? Okay, no, everything is going well. Okay, so we're back to normal. But anyways, with all that said and done, so Rachel, I would just like to go and ask you, are you ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast?
I'll try. I'm trying to be mentally prepared.
Hey, don't worry. Usually I'm not that ready either, but we have to get into it anyways. So, Chatwall, are you ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Let me hear it. Are you all ready for this? Well, let's see. Yes, all right. And everyone's saying hello to Rachel. That's beautiful. And so, with all that said, I think it is now time that we shall go and get things started. And with our first story, well, coincidentally enough, it actually ties in very well to the latest animated feature that has been released just yesterday as we are recording this, The Mitchells vs. the Machines. And Rachel, I do understand that you absolutely adore this movie. You loved this movie when it came out, right?
I did. I tweeted out that I said I just watched something I think people will really love, and it's always a little bit nerve-wracking because sometimes I'm totally wrong. Like I didn't think that like Tom and Jerry was going to be a big hit, but I didn't think people would hate it as much as they hated it. But so sometimes I'm wrong. But this one I was just like, oh, this feels so special, and I just walked away from it thinking, who can't relate to this movie? Like anybody who's been in a family, I feel like, or taken a road trip with anybody, I feel like can relate to this. Anybody who's had a sibling, anyone who's had a relationship with their father that's struggled and grown and thrived. I think anybody can relate to this movie, and even if for some reason you can't, I can't imagine not appreciating the beautiful animation and the way they created this sort of hybrid feel between the 2D and the CG is just so beautiful. And I just think it's so exciting. I was tweeting last night that what an underdog story for Sony Animation to come from the Emoji Movie and in just a few years to be winning Oscars and be making such incredible films. I mean, it's really exciting.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Just in a matter of a few years, the way that how things have changed for Sony Animation, now becoming a lot more experimental with their works, it has started to extremely pay off right now.
Yeah.
And even the future of Sony Animation is starting to look pretty bright as well, because we also got another movie that they have coming up that really sounds exciting. And for me personally, I would say, well, other than Spider-Verse 2, of course, this has always been my most anticipated Sony Animation movie.
Mm-hmm.
And with that said, let's go ahead and start things off by having our first look into Vivo, which we will start things off with a teaser trailer brought to us by Netflix.
Are you ready, Vivo?
Presenting the one and only Vivo.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, a very short trailer, but that has given us our first ever look into Sony Animation's Vivo. And this is pretty much attached with giving us some brand new information regarding the movie, especially with the fact that Sony Animation has sold it to Netflix. Yes, just like what they have done with Wish Dragon and The Mitchells vs. the Machines, Sony Animation has sold the global rights of Vivo to Netflix. And beforehand, we never really knew much information about it. At the most, we had a little synopsis of the plot, and we know that the Croods director, Kirk D'Amico, is attached to it, as well as the fact that this will be featuring music done by Lin-Manuel Miranda. However, now we seem to know a lot more info about it. I might as well start off with the only downside to all this, is that originally it was supposed to be coming out around next month, around, they said June 4th originally in theaters. But now that it's in the hands of Netflix, we don't know when it's officially going to be coming out. They'll have to determine the release date at another time. But
I think the trailer just says this summer, if I'm not mistaken.
At
the end, doesn't it say coming this summer?
Nope, it just says coming soon.
Maybe think of something else.
Yeah, maybe there's another news bit where they did mention there's gonna it would maybe be released in the summer along with other stuff like the Loud House movie with Troll Hunters, Rise of Titans, and other stuff. But I don't know if it's confirmed that they would do so in the summer. In fact, let me just double check in the description. No confirmation, unfortunately.
But yeah, it's a crazy year for Lin-Manuel. He not only has In the Heights that is coming, which is his first musical that he did on Broadway, Tony Award winning. Then he also has Encanto coming out from Disney, which he's doing the music for. Mm-hmm. And then he has Tick Tick Boom Boom, which he's working on, that's coming out. And then Vivo. And so, yeah, pretty exciting time to be Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely been busy, and I think 2021 will absolutely be paying off for him.
Yeah. He's executive producing the Little Mermaid live action for next year. So that gives me a little bit of hope for that movie.
just a bit, but not all that much, though.
Don't let me down. Don't let me down, Lynn.
But then again, they are bringing back David Diggs to play as Sebastian, so that will bring an interesting mix to it.
Yeah, I hope that my hope is that it'll be kind of more like Once Upon an Island, which is a very similar story, a Broadway musical. I mean, they're obviously going to have the Little Mermaid songs, but with the casting and everything like that, I just hope it'll be something different and not a shot for shot remake.
Yeah, we'll have
see.
to wait and see. Yeah, but anyway, back to Vivo. We do have a little bit more of a plot synopsis of what the film is going to be about, as well as revealing a cast for this movie with a whole bunch of familiar names and even some new ones. So, reading from my source here on Deadline, it states, Vivo follows a one-of-a-kind kinkajou, aka a rainforest honey bear, voiced by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who spends his days playing music to the crowd in a lively Havana square with his beloved owner, Andres, played by Buena Vista Social Club's very own Juan de Marcos Gonzalez. Though they may not speak the same language, Vivo and Andres are the perfect duo through their common love of music. But when tragedy strikes shortly after Andres receives a letter from the famous Marta Sandoval, which will be played by Gloria Estefan, inviting her old partner to her farewell concert in Miami with the hope of reconnecting, it's up to Vivo to deliver a message that Andres never could, a love letter to Marta, written long ago in the form of a song. Yet in order to get to the distant shores of Miami, Vivo will need to accept the help of Gabby, which will be voiced by a newcomer, Inerali Simo, an energetic tween who bounces to the beat of her own offbeat drum. On top of that... sorry?
So it sounds like our friend Andres is not going to be long for this world in the movie. It sounds like he's, I don't know, the love letter that Andres never could deliver, I think, doesn't bode well for him.
Yeah, there might be some tragedy to it. Yeah, it sounds like there is a chance that he could be like what is it? Grandmother Tala from Moana. You know the grandmother from Moana,
right?
So
right.
It could be in that same.
Bring your tissues.
Yeah, exactly. But on top of that, we also have other actors that are announced to be involved, including Zoe Saldana, who's going to be playing Gabby's mother. We also got Michael Rooker playing the villainous Everglades Python. Brian, playing an Everglades Python named Lutador. Brian Tyree Henry and Nicole Breyer as a pair of star-crossed spoonbills. Leslie David Baker as a Florida bus driver, and Katie Lowe's or Olivia Trujillo and Lydia Jewett as a trio of well-meaning but overzealous scout troops. And on top of that, we also know a few extra people that will be involved in the movie as well. Kirk D'Amico won't be the only director. It's also going to be co-directed by Brandon Jeffords, a veteran at Sony Animation, as well as we got an old buddy of Lin-Manuel Miranda's, Chiara Alegria Hudez, who's going to be writing the script along with Kirk D'Amico. And we have Alex Lacamoire of The Greatest Showman, who's going to be the composer and even the executive music producer. And we even have a couple of quotes to go and read here. One of them is from Lin-Manuel Miranda stating, "Bringing Vivo to life has been an incredible artistic journey. I couldn't ask for better creative partners than Kirk, Chiara, Alex, and the entire team at Sony Animation. I'm so excited Vivo will have a home at Netflix where kids of all ages will be able to enjoy the film's songs and adventures again and again." We also got a quote from Kirk D'Amico stating, "Inspired by the words and music of Lin-Manuel, Chiara, and Alex, hundreds of artists at Sony Animation worked through uncharted and difficult times, bringing passion and beauty to every frame of the film. And as a musical, Vivo is a love letter to Latin music, and this movie couldn't exist without the heartfelt work of our vocal talent, including Gloria Estefan, Juan de Marcos, Zoe Saldana, Brian Tyree Henry, Inerali Simo, and many more. I speak for everyone who helped make Vivo when I say we couldn't be happier that our film can soon be enjoyed safely by millions of families on Netflix." So with all that said, Rachel, how do you feel with how things are going with Vivo?
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm super excited. I mean, I love animation and I love musicals, and I love Lin-Manuel. I am a big Hamilton fan, as most people are. And so, yeah, I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah, exactly. Me too. Honestly, like I feel so glad that we finally have received something about Vivo because, like
Yeah.
I said, this has honestly been my most anticipated Sony animation movie that's not Spider-Verse related. Mainly because like we do have that attachment to Lin-Manuel Miranda, and that it is going to be a musical, which guarantees that Sony will be bringing in a more experimental side and trying something new with this one.
Hmm.
And even with the teaser trailer that we have seen, even though it is relatively short, just like half a minute long, like
Yeah.
it still shows a lot of promise of what we could be into. Like just getting a little taste of the animation, getting a little taste of the music, and it definitely
Hmm.
feels like it does have this authentic voice that we don't often hear a lot in animation, especially this Latin style of music. So it for me,
Yeah.
yeah.
And sometimes when we do hear it, it's sort of couched in, I don't know, English kind of packaging, like something like The Book of Life, where you have to have Christina Applegate narrating the movie. For why? I don't understand why they made that choice. And just there's like a little bit of confidence I see in this, even just this little teaser. And I think we're all looking for escapism right now. And so the idea of going to Havana and seeing the beautiful animation, I think is going to be really appealing.
Oh yeah, and even the animation itself looks very impressive and even very detailed.
Yeah.
That's another thing to add. It's like even when you see like just like right at the beginning, like with the background of the Havana, it looks quite gorgeous. Like you could see like even like the pastel colors that they put onto the buildings. It definitely feels like this like like this city that's in a tropical island. It definitely looks gorgeous so far, and that like you could tell how a lot of work has already been put into it, and that's just like one area. Like we have yet to even talk about, or we have yet to even see what is also in stuff like oh sorry, just want to double check something. Oh, my screen froze. Sorry. But oh yes. Hold on a sec. I just need to double check something. I think we might have a bit of a connection issue. Hold on a sec. Here, let me just technical difficulties. Just one moment, people. Um, yeah, just want to. Yes, thank you. Just need to call her back. Actually, just want to know if it even works. Hold on a sec. Not great. I'm sorry, people. It's just Skype. I'm using a Skype this time, and it's like going a little bit slow for some reason. It's been a while since I even used Skype. It's freaking Skype. What do you expect? All right, Rachel, are you still there?
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't
Your
know either.
screen froze.
Yeah, you too. Actually, it's just for a moment. It's just everything stopped. Actually, um, but anyways,
Sorry about that.
yeah, don't worry. We're back into it. But like I said before, like we have yet like just from that one shot that we have seen of the Havana is beautiful, and we have yet to actually get into stuff like we have yet to actually see like the jungle itself, or even like the not cross country, but going across like the oceans, or the big
Hmm.
travel that Vivo has to go through, and then like making it to Miami. Like we have yet to see, like this is just a little taste, and it does make me very curious to know a little bit more, especially with the music, because Lin-Manuel has been building this up for like many years. This wasn't even supposed to be a
Yeah.
Sony movie.
Yeah, and I was with you. I was worried that is this going to be one of those projects that we never actually get to see, that we hear talk about, like the Mumbai musical or something like that, and then we never actually get to see it, because all we'd gotten was the title card. That was it, and so exciting when they announced there was going to be a teaser trailer. Like, yes.
Yeah, I was hoping that we would have a little bit more because like it definitely was great with what we got.
Hmm.
But yeah, honestly, like with the new info, like at least it's nice to know that it is alive and well with the project because like it's been going on for so long and it's like we've been so close to the release date yet heard absolutely nothing on Sony's part that it does make you wonder. It's like, is it still happening or have they canceled it? It's like, what is even going on? It did make us feel a little bit curious about it, but there is one question that I would like to ask, however, and this will be something we'll continue to talk about like later on in this podcast. But one thing that is interesting, like in your opinion, how do you feel regarding the fact that Vivo is going to be moving to Netflix instead of being on the big screen?
I mean, it's disappointing because I would always prefer to see films on the big screen, but it's also maybe a little bit of a good thing the way that Netflix has just become such an animation powerhouse. So films that might have been otherwise forgotten will get the limelight. Like I don't think that Farmageddon would have gotten nominated if it wasn't on Netflix and they weren't promoting it. If it was still at Lionsgate. I mean, even though the first one got nominated, I don't know. I just don't see that happening. And there's just been so many films that have gotten more play lately because they have been on Netflix. Like I Lost My Body, for example. I think that wouldn't have gotten near as play if it wasn't for Netflix. So it's a bummer, but it's also probably a pretty hopeful thing for the film in the end. Getting more eyes.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But then again, there is also a part of me that does make me wonder that with the way that Sony Animation has been going at this lately, with the fact that they're supposed to be releasing 4 animated features this year, and 3 of which are all heading to Netflix. So it does make me wonder, how do movie theaters feel about Sony Animation right now with the fact that they're taking all these movies, a lot of which are like major anticipated ones like Vivo, and just like not giving them any opportunities to be on the big screen and just go to Netflix? Because I could say right now, as much as people are really loving The Mitchells versus the Machines and that they're giving it great plays, I don't think movie theaters right now would be interested in hearing what you may think about it when it's not something that they'll have a chance to profit in their local theaters.
Yeah. I wish at the very least they would do like a Fathom event or something like that so that we could see these movies going straight to streaming services, maybe at a premium price or something like that, because I would just really like to.
Yeah, and even for me, I feel like The Mitchells versus the Machines would have greatly benefit from being on the big screen. Like I can imagine with that animation and stuff like that, with the way that they present themselves so extravagantly,
Hmm.
like it would have been so awesome to see that on the big screen, especially like with all the little 2D effects that they did with, from Katie's perspective. But
Yeah, I'm surprised more of the streaming services, the studios aren't following WB and HBO Max's lead because I know everyone was kind of suspect when they first announced that, but from all intents and purposes, it seems like it's been a huge success. I mean, I don't think Tom and Jerry would have made near as much money if they hadn't been released that way. I don't think that, I mean, it was a great success for Kong. I don't know. I just think everybody thought, oh, it's going to hurt the theater sales. It's going to hurt the streaming, but it seems like it's just done great for both. So I don't know. I'm surprised more haven't kind of tried that.
that is true, and again, we will talk a lot more about this later because, like, we'll have a subject that that really will encompass this. But
Yeah.
it's just a question that I want to raise right now. That with the way that things are going, with how Sony is just like ditching a whole like almost all their movies, with the exception of Hotel Transylvania 4, just like sending them to Netflix instead of like having a chance in theaters. Like they're
Hmm.
it's kind of like a double-edged sword, but like yeah, we understand why nowadays they would do it, especially during a godforsaken pandemic. But then again, like it does feel like it is a completely missed opportunity to not experience these movies, especially like when Sony has been getting so progressively better, to have a chance to see them on the big screen and to really indulge into not just the animation, but really like just into the story without any form of like interruptions at home, or like even if you would go to the like there's a big difference between like wanting to go to the bathroom on the big screen and risking losing like little bits and details compared to now where like
Pause. Yeah.
wait. That did not come out right.
That was a weird sneeze.
No, that's just like
So
that was a sneeze that was about to happen, but it bailed.
Well, it's also really strange the movies that they choose to release and the ones they're not. Like, why are we releasing Peter Rabbit 2? That seems like stream worthy. And yet, I mean, I'm sure it comes down to contracts and other stuff like that, but I don't know, just kind of weird.
Yeah, like Wish Dragon, that I will understand. Mitchell's versus the Machines, especially with the praise that it's getting right now, and especially Vivo, with what you mentioned at the start, like you'd think Vivo would be great for the big screen, especially for Sony to fully capitalize on the major success that Lin-Manuel Miranda is having right now, especially with all the hype that's going on within the heist, within the Heights, not in the heist, that would be a different movie, but also like with what Disney is going to have coming soon with Encanto. You'd think it would be great for like to also jump into that and really capitalize on the whole Lin-Manuel Miranda fad by having that movie be on the big screen, but selling it off to Netflix, I don't know. I feel like that would be that just feels like a missed opportunity right there. But then again, it is Sony Pictures, and right now, like they're unpredictable right now.
Well, and things are just in such a tough spot that I think they're looking for a sure thing versus the risk, I think, is the on some of these films. I don't know. It's I wouldn't like to be in their shoes having to make these tough calls when you're dealing with millions and millions of dollars and what you're going to do. I'd actually forgotten about Wish Dragon, but so if you include Peter Rabbit, they have 5.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if Peter Rabbit really is a Sony animation movie per se. Like I did brought it up at one point. I remember a while ago I mentioned how Peter Rabbit 2 might have been a Sony animation movie, but some people corrected me saying it's like, no, it's not Sony animation. It's kind of like it's kind of like a weird case where it's like the Angry Birds movie where the first movie is not, but then suddenly the second one is. So it's I don't know. It's a weird case with Peter Rabbit. It's especially with their family. It was. Yeah, I know. Like, it's a good thing to know that I'm not the only one in this case.
Yeah. But nevertheless, I'm excited to see it. Like I said, I wish that they would do a Fathom event or something that for all of the ones that have gotten only streaming, that we could go and see Soul. We could go and see everything that. It would be nice if it was just like a weekend. Hey, we're bringing, it'd be a good thing for the theaters, and it would be a good thing for all of us.
Yeah, so. It would.
I would love that.
Would. I know there are a lot of movies that I would love to see on the big screen, but never really got the opportunity to. Like, I would love to see like even a lot of the Disney movies recently. I would love to see like Soul or even Raya. Like, keep in mind, I'm Canadian. I never got a chance to actually see Raya on the big screen because there was literally no theater near me that was presenting it. Like Cineplex, our only major cinema chain, they were one of the people that bailed out on Raya. Like, they just refused to show
and
it.
Cinemark. Yeah, that was just sad too because Us Again was only in the theaters, which I have it doesn't make any sense. If you're charging people $30 to see your movie, you think you could throw in the short for $30? But I absolutely adored that short. It was so good. It's one of my favorite things I've seen in 2021. I thought it was so beautiful. Yeah, as much as I loved Raya, which I did, I enjoyed it. It's got its flaws, but I enjoyed it. And but Us Again, I just absolutely loved. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm going to be waiting a few weeks because I know pretty soon there's going to be the Blu-ray of Raya, and it will come with Us Again. So I know that's going to be the soonest way I will be seeing it. But yeah, honestly, I agree with you as well. like, yeah, despite the fact that it's not going to be coming out in theaters, which is unfortunate, I am definitely excited to see Vivo. Like, whenever it's going to be coming out, maybe it's going to be later this year, or maybe they will save it for next year. Who knows? But I'm definitely hyped up for it.
Yeah. And it's going to be fun. Gloria Stefan. I'm excited about that. She's great.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So, with that said now, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, how do you feel about the new updates that we got with Vivo, with the little teaser trailer and the updates that it's coming on Netflix and the new info? Are you guys excited for it? Are you a little hesitant? Let me know what you all think.
Yeah, a lot of great comments coming in.
Oh yeah, yeah. Trust me, I got a really good audience. They know how to, they know how to supply some good comments onto this. Let's see. I actually want to watch this movie when it's released on Netflix because not only Lin-Manuel Miranda is in this, but Sony animation movies are starting to get better and better now ever since Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and The Mitchells vs. the Machines, or what it used to be known as, Connected. This movie looks pretty promising with its lovely visuals of Havana and its Cuban theme. I can't wait to see this movie. If it doesn't throw away its shots. I mean, seriously, who doesn't love Lin-Manuel Miranda? Yeah, definitely. Let's see now. While it is a shame that Vivo will not play in theaters due to the pandemic, crowded June 4th releases like Conjuring 3 and In the Heights coming into the same month, but it makes sense that it doesn't stop me from getting a chance to see Vivo real soon. The teaser looked promising with its animation and songs. I can't wait for this film to come out on Netflix. Let's see, what else do we have here? As a person who loves animals, I am super excited to see this movie. I really admire the animation and craftsmanship onto this picture, and the music and songs from Lin-Manuel Miranda makes this film much more exciting. Until Netflix could find a good release date, I will keep a very good eye on this film. Me too, man. Me too. This is probably just my inner Lin-Manuel Miranda fan talking, but I am really excited for this flick. I'm already a fan of the music, I already enjoy Vivo and Andres' dynamic, and the animation is absolutely gorgeous. I'm definitely going to be checking this out, but I still wish it were a theatrical release. Oh well, at least we still have the 4th animated Adam Sandler and Friends monster movie. Yay! Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I know your favorite franchise.
Oh boy! Anyways, I think this looks like fun. The animation looks great, and the music seems like it'll be fun and energetic. I would say that my only concern is that people are going to compare it to Pixar's Luca, mainly because it takes place in Italy, but other than that, I'm excited for this movie. Well, not really, but I think there's going to be more comparisons when Encanto will come out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Encanto, I think, is more likely. But I like the fact that we're getting these escapist pictures. Like I said, I think we all kind of need that right now because we're not traveling like we normally might. Certainly not overseas very much. And so that's kind of fun to get to go to Italy, get to go to Cuba, all of that.
Yeah, that is true. At least, like, we're traveling around the world. We're going to Italy, we're going to Cuba, and I think in Encanto, we're going to be in Colombia. So, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And then I guess in Raya, we were in the Southeast Asia. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, we're going around the globe with animation today. Let's see. I'll go and read one more comment before we jump into the next story here. Sony's on a roll for 2021. I mean, they're making 4.5 movies that year. I am pretty excited for Vivo to come out along with Hotel Transylvania 4, number Into the Transilverse. Oh boy. Well, like what would be like the multiverse for Hotel Transylvania? Would it be like a crossover with other Adam Sandler movies?
Oh dear.
Oh my god, actually no.
Like
You know
Little
what?
Nicky shows up or something horrible.
Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie. I actually really do like Little Nicky. No. I was actually thinking, why not have a crossover of Hotel Transylvania and 8 Crazy Nights?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just come in.
Old man shows up.
Yeah, the Hotel
Like,
Transylvania gang, and then suddenly YB's there, like, that's a technical foul. You know, I know how to go and make this whole hotel and just, really spruce it up a little bit. Don't you think we can add in some nice little decorations here?
They could have Elsa show up as Idina Menzel. It's just because she was in Uncut Gems.
Oh my god, as just as like the pissed off wife.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I see why you weren't a big fan of the animation of those movies, but I don't know. I just find them relaxing. I think they're fun, so I'm looking forward to it.
I can see how they can be like comfort movies for some people.
Yeah. The third one for me was what was sort of my summer movie that season, where if it was hot and I was tired, I think I saw it 3 times in the theater because I had Movie Pass. Just like, go.
Wow. Dang, 3 times for Hotel
3 times.
3.
Yeah. Because it was just a fun summer movie for me. But yeah, so it's going to be an interesting summer, that's for sure. Or interesting 2021.
I mean, things have been. I think the best, like the most positive way to describe what we've went through lately is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you survive the quarantine? Was it a adventure for you?
It was a bit like some things have remained the same. Some it took a lot of time to adjust. But anyways, with that said, speaking of summer, let's go and jump on to our next story. And we shall be discussing about, well, actually another summer animated feature where this time around, like, we know we're all hyped up for what Sony has in store, but keep in mind there are other movies that the other studios will be bringing up, including Pixar. To which they got another animated feature coming up that a lot of people are pretty excited for. What about you?
So excited. I mean, I'm always going to be excited for Pixar. I have really enjoyed almost all of their films. I actually wasn't as high on Soul as a lot of people, but I still liked it. I just didn't love it, and I liked Wolfwalkers better. So it was a little bit hard.
You're one of those people.
Yes, I am. I am one of those people. Because I thought the middle gets a little muddled in Soul, especially when he's a cat. I don't know. That part didn't really work for me very well. But I appreciate the ambition, and I certainly enjoyed watching it. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to come up with next. I really like the director of Luca. I liked La Luna, his short, a lot. It was one of my favorite Pixar shorts. And then I don't know. I'm just intrigued. This like crossover of Call Me by Your Name and Shape of Water and for kids. It looks very, very intriguing.
True. So with that said, let's go ahead and actually check that trailer out as we look into Pixar's next animated feature, Luca.
Quanta fretta, ma dove corri? Dove vai? Se ci ascolti per un momento capirai. Lui è il gatto ed io la volpe. Stiamo in società.
Wow, Luca. That was hard to watch. You, coming?
Di noi ti puoi fidare.
We do not go anywhere near the surface. Got it?
Everything good is above the surface. Walking. Air! The sky, clouds, the sun. Whoa, don't look at it. Just kidding. Definitely look at it.
Have you ever gone to the human town?
Yeah. I'm kind of an expert.
Hey, little hats!
Someone got lucky today.
Hey, leave them alone! Hop on.
Go start a club for losers.
My name is Julia Marcavaldo. We underdogs have to look out for each other.
What's under the dogs?
This is my dad.
What do you think he kills with those?
Anything that swims.
Your life is so much cooler than mine. There's a million things you think you can't do. All you need is a chance to try.
Something's fishy with you two.
This is too dangerous. They'll see us.
I know your problem. You got a Bruno in your head.
A Bruno.
Say, Silenzio Bruno.
Silencio Bruno.
Louder. Silenzio Bruno.
Silencio Bruno.
Silenzio Bruno.
Silencio Bruno.
Can you still hear him?
Nope, just you.
Good. Now hang on.
Silencio Bruno.
What's wrong with you, stupido?
You do it now. Just say the thing.
What's wrong with you, stupido?
And that was the trailer for Luca. So, what did you think?
I think it looks charming. I'm a big fan. I think the friendships. They have the little girl there as well. I think that looks fun. There's obviously like the town bully that is going to be the antagonist, but then you also have her father. That looks like that's going to get some humorous scenes in there, and yeah, I think it looks charming.
Yeah, I think that's the word that's often been associated with this movie, is that it's charming. One thing I will say is that this movie looks a lot more subdued compared to many other animated features, or at least the ones that we have been getting lately. Like, this is not going to be as epic or extravagant as what we have seen with either Raya or the Mitchells versus the Machines. This one is going to be a lot more down to earth, where despite the fact that they are sea monsters in disguise, it's going to be a bit more kind of like a slice of life kind of story, where like it's mainly going to see the life of these two kids just hanging out in this in this little Italian Riviera. And I guess in a way, like some people will call it just a fish out of water story, but then again, this is literally a fish out of water story.
I was gonna say,
so
literally.
So yeah, like I don't think you can really fault it for that, but yeah, it definitely has that unique charm. And one thing that I will say, like I've already said this before a few times about this movie, and even like I've heard others even compare it a lot, but this really does capture that feel of a Studio Ghibli movie, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. I can see that, yeah. Which is the one, maybe Totoro?
Totoro? I was thinking more like Kiki's Delivery Service, actually.
Oh yeah, that too. I could see.
Yeah, because it has it kind of has that slice of life element to it, where it's mainly just going to be about these characters and their lives, just going to be, just hanging out, like meeting the people, just kind of absorbing the environment that does surround them, and learn about the new life, what is like above the surface instead of living as sea creatures in the water. And plus we do have that interesting dynamic like with the sea monsters, that it is a town that is completely against sea monsters in general, and that they would easily be killed if their true identities are actually found out. So
yeah.
You'll have
one
that...
interesting part of the trailer is that part where he's running on Saturn, and you're like, when is that going to come in? And it's especially interesting when you think of La Luna, which was obviously set on the moon.
That is true. Yeah, like it does look like there's going to be this fantasy aspect to it, where like even the shot beforehand looks pretty stylized as well. That like when it says from Disney and Pixar, like the clouds are perfectly rounded, and you see like this cute little valley, and then like as you mentioned, where we see just Luca just running on one of the planets. Like it is stylized, and it does look like it could be like a little dream sequence. But that's also another great thing to mention about this movie, is that the backgrounds are going to be absolutely gorgeous. Like, yeah, they have a completely different character design from what they had before, but for like the backgrounds, it looks like it's going to be a very immersive movie, where it's not going to try too much to be so extravagant, but just, again, this is another escapism movie where they just want to bring you to like an Italian seashore, just like this little town by the Italian Riviera, and just like, have a time to just relax, look at the sights, see the stars, and, just do simple things.
Yeah, people in the chat room are comparing it to Little Mermaid, but I don't think it will have the stakes of Little Mermaid in the sense of Triton ruling the whole ocean and Ursula, and I don't know. I think this is going to be a lot simpler, just about a coming of age story of these two boys growing up.
Yeah, some people are even mentioning Ponyo, which might sound a little more reasonable.
Yeah. And of course, it's not a musical like Little Mermaid, so it's going to be tough to compare.
Yeah, I don't think the comparisons are going to be with The Little Mermaid. I think it's just going to be with... I think like Studio Ghibli will get a lot more comparisons out of this. But overall, though, I will say that this does seem like honestly, it is different, but... That's honestly what I really like about it, is that this does feel like something that will be completely different than like the big extravagant features that are just wild and crazy and epic and adventurous, like what we've gotten so far with Raya and with the Mitchells, where it's just going to be something calm. It's just going to be something that'll be a little pleasant, and especially with the animation, it's just, again, absolutely gorgeous. In fact, like, I could even say, if there is one comparison, like, just the visuals, would be with Vivo, with what we have gotten with, with what we have seen so far with the Havana. Kind of feels a bit of the same with what we got with Luca as well. So I know it's a bit of a stretch, but just in terms of that immersive aspect of like to be transported into not like a completely different world, but into another place on this earth, like kind of like this escapism to go and travel to another area.
Yeah, and they're saying in the comment section that even the town's name, Porto Rosso, is based off of the Porco Rosso for Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, that is true. And I mean, I think there's no secret that Pixar is a massive admirer of the Studio Ghibli films. Even to the point of literally having Totoro being a part of Toy Story 3. So yeah, we will see that influence, and I think with Luca, it's going to be the biggest tribute to Studio Ghibli that Pixar is ever going to deliver. And for that, honestly, I'm actually pretty excited for this one.
Speaking of Studio Ghibli, did you, not to go off book, but did you see Earwig?
Not yet, and I'm not excited to. I know eventually I might have to look at it, but I have not been hearing good things about it. Like, it sounds like it has become the Chicken Little of the Studio Ghibli films.
It was really bad, and I was pulling for it. I was hoping that Goro would kind of redeem himself, because people hate Ursula so much. But it was, I mean, Ursula is a billion times better than, in my opinion, at least. I thought it was really bad.
Well, Ursula is not that bad. It's not really bad. It's just the weakest compared to the other Studio Ghibli films. That, and also, he did redeem himself a little bit afterwards with Up on Poppy Hill. But then suddenly this movie happened, and it's like, bruh.
I mean, it's pretty rough when your own father says that your movie's terrible.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was really bad. It was bad writing. It was bad animation. I didn't like anything in it. So it was very bad. And there's no story. It's just set up for another movie. It's kind of like Artem's Fowl in that way, where Artem's Fowl was just set up. There was no story.
Oh wow. Yeah, yep. I'm not excited when it's going to be my turn to look into that film.
Yeah, and as they're saying in the comments, Earwig will be the worst animated film of the year, and if it's not, then it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, well, I mean, Earwig was released in 2020, so
technically, yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah, overall though, then again, we could say that Pixar is going to go and pick up the slack of what Studio Ghibli left off, and hopefully we will get something enjoyable out of it.
I think so. I think it'll be good. Like, I haven't hated personally any Pixar movie. Obviously, like Cars 2 is less successful, but I don't know. I can still have kind of fun with it. But they always make something enjoyable.
Yeah.
The Pixar.
Yeah, definitely. Like no matter what, even if it's not a masterpiece, you'll be guaranteed a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So with that said, let's go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, how do you feel about the trailer that we have seen with Luca? Did you guys really like it? Are you anticipated for this? Are you a little iffy on it? Or do you not know if you're gonna like it or not? Let me know what you think. What the fridge? Yeah, okay, yeah, yes, allow. For some, okay, I'm sorry. For some reason, Twitch thinks that Guido is like a curse word or something. Like someone wrote down the word Guido, and it's like, hold up! I don't think we can allow this. Are you sure you want to put this up? I was like, yes, it's Guido. Calm down.
That's funny.
Anyways, the best word that I could use to describe this movie is wholesome. The animation is amazing as always, the art style is very charming, and the story seems really heartfelt so far. I can certainly see the resemblance to many Studio Ghibli movies, so it may have the heart of those movies as well. Oh yeah, if they can manage to pull that off, then I think we'll be really we'll be into something pleasant. Let's see now. This film sure looks like a wholesome ride. The animation has a nice, warm feeling. Plus, the designs are great. I really enjoy the friendship between Luca and Alberto, and the story has a charming feel to it. Also, did anyone notice that Julia's father only has one arm? I can already guess where his hatred for anything that swims stems from. One arm? Hold on, let me back that up, actually. I never actually...
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, hold on, let me double check. Hold on, where is it? Oh, yeah! Oh, dang, that's a good eye there. It's like you only see it for like a split second, but you see like his sleeve is all like folded up, so...
But he does have that butcher knife, so...
Yeah, exactly. We're also focused on that, on the big bloody butcher knife, so... Like, of course, it's understandable why we would miss that. Hold on, wasn't there like another shot? Okay, yeah, so there is another, like, we would see like the folded up arm, so... Okay, but...
Yeah, you're right. Good call.
Yeah, still, good eye. Oh, by the way, one thing that I want to mention already... Like, I don't know, I haven't seen anyone comment on this, but oh my god, already, I love this freaking cat. I love the cat in this movie that's, like, always so doubtful, and, like, you just hear the noise, like...
When he has kind of, it almost looks like a mustache, which is sort of funny. Because his whiskers look sort of like a... I think he'll be kind of like Lucifer from Cinderella.
Yeah, but you know the funny thing is, though, is that among all the things we have seen in this trailer, I feel like this cat... feels like it directly came out of Studio Ghibli. Like, it reminds me of that cat, I think Muta from Whisper of the Heart. Like, you got, like, this, like, tabby, sarcastic cat in a way. Kind of reminds me of that. I don't know. I feel like out of all the things that we could compare to Studio Ghibli, the cat is the one we feel like could come out of it.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we got here? What other comments? The story reminds me of The Little Mermaid, and I think it will be one of their weaker movies. Oh, it might be a ripoff of The Little Mermaid, made up with some memorable characters and good animation. I am not hoping it is better than Soul. I'm not hoping that it's better than Soul, but I hope it is still good. But I don't think it will be amazing or a masterpiece. I think the animation looks like Captain Underpants. I don't know.
I think the Captain Underpants had way more of a 2D hybrid feel than this does.
No, Captain Underpants has its own style. It's going on its own direction.
It had that flatter feel, kind of like what the Peanuts movie did, where it is CGI, but it has that hybrid feel where it sort of looks kind of flattened.
I don't know about flattened, but it definitely stays true to the classic artwork that was done in the books. Like, but yeah, just to say that I honestly don't see the comparisons to Captain Underpants. Maybe to some of like the modern TV shows like Steven Universe or Gravity Falls and stuff like that, but to Captain Underpants, not really.
Yeah, I think that one had more of a hybrid look to it.
Yeah, let's see now. Luca looks great so far. I really love how this seems to be going in a different direction than other animated films, as it seems like it could be very charming and a lot of fun. However, I am definitely worried if there could be some comparisons to Ponyo, but overall, I'm excited. I mean, that is true. We'll see how they'll go, like, with the climax, but then again, I don't think we'll be seeing any giant woman or, like the parents gonna be coming in, like, we must restore the balance. We must bring them back, so we must restore the balance.
And people always compare to films because that's just how you make sense of things, is you compare it to something else. So don't get bothered by that. It's natural.
Yeah, also, just on a side note, I don't know if you have seen it, but Cell Specs has actually done a great editorial regarding that, like commenting how people are unnecessarily attacking movies because of those style of comparisons, like how people attack Raya and the Last Dragon for seeming a lot like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know if you've seen that video, but she really does go into.
She's good.
Yeah, it really goes into like that kind of criticism, and even if it is like Ponyo, it'll depend on the execution if it is good. Let's see what else we got here. To me, this is the most anticipated animated film I want to see in the summer. I know the story would be fun and emotional, the characters would be charming, and the animation would be very gorgeous to look at. I would not be surprised if Pixar will put Nemo from Finding Nemo and Luigi from Guido from the Cars franchise as Easter eggs. Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
definitely.
They'll definitely do a bunch of Easter eggs, and I can imagine like they'll have some of the Italian cars like from Cars 2, like just as little cameos. I mean, it's not the first time that they've done so.
Sure.
Yeah, like even in The Incredibles, there was The Incredibles actually had one. I think they got Doc Hudson as a cameo in there.
Yeah. Well, they have their things that they do in every movie, like the Pixar wall and the pizza truck.
Yeah, that is. Oh yeah, no, we'll definitely get a pizza truck as a cameo there.
And there's usually something from the movie to come, which I forget which one's coming next after Luca.
I think it's called Turning Red. It's that.
Oh,
it's
is that?
Yeah, it's the movie where the girl, like, when she gets overexcited, she turns into a giant red panda.
Mm-hmm. So you'll see something from that movie, whether it's her or a toy or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. And I'll read one more comment before we jump into the next story. Luca is just going to be a really cute movie with likable and charming characters. It's definitely a streaming movie to relax and have a fun time. Jacob Tremblay is great as Luca, and the girl is adorable. All of them really. So yeah, not a blockbuster, and that is fine. La Luna and Luca are done by the same director. Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, and someone even mentioned, yeah, that's gonna be the big question though. Someone mentions, I think Luca will make me cry. That's gonna be the big question.
I mean, it's Pixar, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, okay, like, we know it's gonna happen, but we don't know how. Even the trailer is pretty deceiving. It's like, you may think you know how it's gonna make you cry, but they'll always find something else. Especially like that is definitely the case with Coco.
Oh yeah, I mean Finding Nemo, all the Toy Story movies, they all make you cry.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, even I remember. I didn't cry at Soul.
Up,
but...
hello. Oh,
yeah,
Up makes you cry.
It pretty much starts you
Inside
off
Out.
With yeah, Inside Out. I'll admit I cried at Toy Story 4. Actually, I know not many people do, and not many people look fondly at Toy Story 4, but I still absolutely love it, and that did.
Me too. I'm a big fan. I really enjoyed it. I think it was a necessary conclusion to Woody's arc, or he's just going to be stuck in this cycle of like being played with and then not being played with and being played with and not being played with over and over and over and over and over again. That's not a happy way to live.
Okay, actually, someone in the comments did mention a good point. Technically, The Incredibles is not a movie that would make you cry.
It has a moment though when he's like, "I can't go through that again," and I can't lose you again. Like that'll get you.
In a way, it went by quickly though.
It is a fast moment, but especially for a character like him that is such a man's man. Like for him to go there is pretty good.
Yeah.
But you're right. That's probably one of the. I mean, in the Cars movies aren't like that
Yeah,
emotional.
it's like the least likely to make you cry. That could be a good video. That could be like a good video idea.
Yeah.
Make a Pixar tier list of like most likely to make you cry or not.
Yeah, the most likely to make you cry. I mean, I don't know if there's. It's almost too much. Is the incinerator scene in Toy Story 3?
Oh yeah,
it's almost too much.
No, afterwards when Andy has to say goodbye. Oh God.
But the opening of Up is very emotional.
Yeah.
That would have to be on the top tier.
Coco's ending.
And then also Coco's ending, and then also Jessie getting left.
Yeah, she loved me.
Yeah. When somebody loved you. Everything was beautiful. So, yeah, that would be a fun video.
Yeah. But anyways, let's jump on to our next story right over here. And it actually does relate to Luca. So this is going to be a smooth transition. However, it looks like this is something that has made its rounds across social media that a lot of the animators are not really happy. And it's not necessarily because of like the working conditions or that they don't like the movies that they're working on. They definitely do, and they definitely have the passion of working on these films, and they love doing what they do. It's just one thing that they are upset about is regarding the fact that their movies won't be in theaters. So several people who work at Pixar has spoken anonymously to the website or to the magazine or something like that. They spoke to Insider, and they've pretty much discussed how they're actually a lot of people at Pixar are rather upset of the fact that their movies like Luca and Soul are not able to be released in theaters. And they see a bit of an unfair comparison because how nowadays movie theaters are slowly reopening and that studios are slowly bringing their movies back to the big screen. Even Disney nowadays, they are putting them back. Like not entirely, but they are doing that process of simultaneously releasing their films on the big screen and on Disney Plus at the same time, but with premium access. But when it comes to the Pixar movies like Soul and Luca, they're just thrown directly onto Disney Plus. No premium access, no nothing. And in a way, they feel kind of insulted of the fact that they would treat them the same way that they do like some kind of like direct-to-streaming movie. Like kind of like treating Soul and Luca the same way that they would with how they did with Candace Against the Universe, in a sense. Even like the fact that you cannot go and pay $30 to see the movie, like they feel like it takes a lot of value away from these movies. We got a couple of quotes here, which I'll be reading here from my source on IndieWire. Excuse me. To which some animators have stated, or some workers have stated, Luca doesn't even have a premium price next to it. Does it make it lesser? It's hard to grasp. Another person even states, we don't want to be a title just on Disney Plus. These movies are crafted for the big screen. We want you to watch these movies with no distractions, not looking at your phones. And they even mention as well that there's even word that it's not just the little people working at Pixar that are upset about it, but even some of the creative higher-ups, especially when it comes to Pete Docter. Apparently, when it was announced that Soul would be moving to Disney Plus, he was actually pretty upset about it. Now, granted, the blow was a lot softened when they heard the news that Soul made major numbers on Disney Plus. It was a major hit, and nowadays he has gotten a lot of awards for it, like a Golden Globe and an Oscar. But still, it did hurt a little bit for Pete Docter of the fact that his movie would not have a chance on the big screen. And some animators actually feel that maybe the reason is because Pixar has set way too high of a standard for themselves, that because their movies have been making over $1 billion lately, Disney is just fearing that if they don't make it to that $1 billion mark, then they would be just viewed as a flop, where some of them has even stated, to continue reading from my source, one Pixar staffer said Disney was over the moon about the numbers, which what Soul has made with Disney Plus. But other staffers expressed concern on Pixar's success no longer being quantified by box office grosses. As a worker puts it, if these movies aren't having $1 billion runs, does that hurt the company? You wonder that. Even someone who worked at Pixar for a long time, a veteran animator, actually stated, everybody is worried about keeping their jobs if our films aren't seen by Disney as financial successes. But at the same time, I will say, however, that not everyone at Pixar does feel that way. There are a few of them that are actually okay when it comes to where their movies would be released, because sometimes it's not about seeing their names on the big screen. It's really about crafting the art of animation. There was even one person who even stated that they believe that if they're doing it because they want to see their name be on the big screen during the credits, then they're doing it for all the wrong reasons. In fact, both the article on Insider and on IndieWire even concludes with one person stated, there will not be a change on how we make the films. That is what is important. The piece of art. That is what matters. So I think it is time that we will go back into that old conversation that we had when we were talking about Vivo. So how do you personally feel about the animators at Pixar expressing this concern of the fact that their movies won't have a chance to be on the big screen, but instead just be a Disney Plus exclusive?
Well, I think what's more puzzling, almost more than what they're putting to Disney Plus, is what they are making a what do they call it? Prime release? Premium access. Because it doesn't make any sense to me why you would have Cruella be a premium access in theaters when, who's excited for this? I just don't understand this movie. I don't get it. I don't understand. You have a movie for children about a woman who becomes a person who wants to kill 101 puppies. What?
If it works for Maleficent, then it can work for Cruella. I don't know.
No, because Maleficent was actually a retelling, like it was her version of the truth. This is a prequel. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I hated Maleficent, but this is supposedly her prequel to getting to the point of the beginning of 101 Dalmatians. So at the end of this movie, she has to be a person who could kill 101 puppies, and this is for kids. Like, what? I guess it's PG-13, so it's for teenagers. But I don't know. I just don't understand this movie. I don't get it. It looks well made, and I'm a huge Emma Thompson fan. So this one has both Emmas, Emma Stone and Emma Thompson. But I don't know. I just feel like, in what world is it the best decision to have Cruella be the premium access and not have Luca?
I will say one thing. I think I know a solution on how to actually make Cruella great and to actually make it worth it. Why not we make because it has both Emmas, like Emma Stone and Emma Thompson, not only is this a prequel to 101 Dalmatians, can this also be a prequel to Saving Mr. Banks? That it turns out that Emma Thompson is actually still playing P.L. Travers, and this is why she's so cranky?
I could see that. I thought you were going to say Beauty and the Beast, because Emma Thompson's in that.
Wait, is she? Oh, yeah, that is true. Oh, God.
But I don't know how that character would become Mrs. Potts.
I don't know, man. That would just be too weird.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just don't get that movie. Maybe it'll be great. I always go into an open mind. Otherwise, why watch it? But it just seems like with the track record, if I was the studio and I was looking at the track record of success, I would want to have the Pixar movie be the premiere access and have the live action movie be the direct to Disney Plus, kind of like what they did with Lady and the Tramp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand what you mean. And yeah, there is a bit of that weird unfairness in a way. And even for me, I feel like it is still kind of puzzling. I still don't understand how we could watch Soul for free and not something like Mulan or even Raya and the Last Dragon. And especially with Raya, you'd think that they would probably do that same kind of format where they would release it in theaters and on Disney Plus. Because I'll say right now, I would not mind to pay $30 to watch something like Soul or even Luca compared to like something like Mulan or even for Cruella or something like that. And it does make you question what kind of message that Disney is trying to bring across with what they want to try to do with the Pixar movies right now. Chances are it's probably temporary, and probably by 2022, like with Turning Red and Lightyear, they'll probably put that out on the big screen. But it does send out a strange message about how Disney might value these movies that, yeah, like with Luca, it's not necessarily from one of the big name directors like Pete Docter or Andrew Stanton or Lee Unkrich or anything like that. But still, though, it is a Pixar film that many people are anticipating for. What is that message that they want to say about these Pixar films?
Well, and I just don't understand the rationale for not putting it in theaters. Like, why not get as much from it as you can? Even if it's a short run, if it's only a week or two, I don't understand not doing it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, on one hand, I can understand with why they have to do it with Soul, because they've been delaying it and they've been continuously pushing it, and they can't push it even further. And because like things were pretty dire with the pandemic, they had no choice but to give it a Christmas release date. And
they were kind of selling it as a Christmas gift to fans and stuff like that too. So it was almost like a goodwill gesture.
Yeah, like that is understandable. With Luca, on the other hand, that I don't understand. Like I don't know if maybe it's because Disney wants to recapture that success they had with Soul, but still, it makes no sense considering that it is one of their more anticipated movies. I just don't see why give that a chance to be on the big screen, or at the very least, give that a premium access as well to show that there is worth, to make it seem like it is an important, like it is a big deal if you have to pay $30 to check that movie out.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish that we could get in the heads of the people over there and figure out why, because they must have their reasons, of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like they must be sticking to some kind of strategy, but it is a weird strategy as well that I completely understand how some of these animators feel. Like they are definitely brave to say that. Like they are definitely brave to say that. Like it makes sense why they have to keep their names anonymous, because like that's the kind of crap that you would say that would immediately get you not just fired but full on blacklisted from the industry. But it's understandable why they would be upset about this, and it does make you question how Disney values these movies. And also, I add as well, there's also another company that I am thinking of that they're probably on the same boat as Pixar as well, and that's regarding Sony Pictures Animation. Because like we've mentioned before, right now, out of the 4 animated features that Sony is releasing this year, only one of them is going to make it on the big screen. The rest, they decided to sell it off just on Netflix. And in that regard, what message is Sony Pictures what message is Sony Pictures delivering on the fact that these movies would not have a chance to be on the big screen at all and just completely give it away to Netflix? Because we know that just from what we have seen with Vivo and what we already saw with Mitchell's versus the Machines, you know that there's been years of hard work that's already put into it. We know that these passions are like labors of love from these filmmakers, and yet when it comes to Sony, why would they take these projects that a lot of them are very anticipated, a lot of them have been hyped up for a while, and just not give them a chance to be in theaters and just put them on Netflix instead? Like, and of course, like with Hotel Transylvania, yeah, that's the only one that they are putting out on the big screen, but there's no secret to why, because Hotel Transylvania is the most likely to actually make a profit on the big screen than something like Mitchell's versus the Machines or Vivo, because those are new original properties. like it does send out a questionable message. And I can imagine that there are people at Sony Animation as well that are a bit crushed that their movies would not get a chance to be on the big screen.
Well, and things are changing so quickly with this pandemic that it makes the decision making extra hard. Like I feel like the difference between April 30th with Mitchell's and Machines and June 14th, I think, for Luca, that's huge. I mean, so many more people will have been vaccinated by June 14th. So many other things will have been changed. So many Regal will be open by then. There'll be a lot more. So I feel like it's a really substantially different decision in June than it was in April.
But what about the decision for Vivo, though?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they were just tempted by the guaranteed money, the sure thing, versus the risk from Netflix. That's what I think.
Yeah, that could definitely be the case, but I just want to point out, because like there's also like several other examples. Yeah, like Pixar is the one that is vocal about it, but they're not the only ones that are facing this kind of situation. And I do understand that we are in a very difficult time. Like, we are in the process where we are getting our vaccines and we are trying to slowly but surely reestablish things to be back to normal. But at this rate, it's just sometimes it does make you wonder, like, what message that you're trying to spread when it comes to your movie with how you want to go and release it. Like in the case of Disney, do they value something like Raya and the Last Dragon more than they do with Luca, because they give Raya a chance to be on the big screen and to give it premium access on Disney Plus, whereas Luca, they're just putting it out on Disney Plus and that's it.
Yeah, so, it sure seems like it. I mean, I'd be annoyed. For sure.
It's confusing and it is very complicated, but still though, it's just, we're pretty much in a point where everything is complex, everything is messed up, and I understand it's not easy for the executives for the decisions that they have to do, and they want to try to find the options that would ensure the most profitability that they could get, and some of them can actually pay off well, some of them might not. And but honestly though, like, I can understand the frustration that the animators are going through, whether it be with Luca or maybe with the Sony animation films. It's complicated, yes, but like, what else can you do?
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely frustrating for me. I mean, I really wish I could see it in the theater. That's for sure.
Yeah, same here. But one thing I will say, though, is that if we are lucky enough, I could imagine maybe Disney might give a second chance to Soul and Luca, because unlike Sony, who completely sold the rights away to Netflix, like, Disney still has the rights to Soul and Luca, and they could do like some kind of surprise, like big screen premiere. Like,
I would love that. Yeah.
Oh,
like I said, even if it was just like a Fathom event for a weekend, that would be so fun.
Yeah, they could do that, like some kind of like special occasion kind of thing. Like maybe they'll have to find like a good release date where it won't be in the way of like other movies and stuff like that. But like I can imagine Disney doing that, and hopefully one day they will, just to deliver people that experience, you know, to see Luca and Soul on the big screen, especially with, like, I can imagine it could do very well with Soul. Now that,
I would think so. I mean, and I just don't understand what the downside would be. You know, like, you could make some money for a weekend. It's in, it's out. There's no real like marketing involved hardly at all, and so I don't know. I don't see really what would be the downside to it.
It's extra money. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's extra money. Like, maybe it won't happen this year, like maybe next year in 2022, but yeah, that would definitely be something fun. In fact, you know, it would be a nice way to actually build up to some of the bigger movies that they have next year, because I'm sure like one of the most anticipated movies of next year is going to be Lightyear, so they'll do something extra to really build up to that moment.
Well, it's going to be weird though, Lightyear, to not have Tim Allen voicing Buzz. That's going to be weird.
But then again, like, you didn't grow up watching Buzz Lightyear: A Star Command, have you?
No, never seen it.
Yeah, that explains it. Trust me, like Chris is it Chris Evans that's gonna be playing Buzz Lightyear, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I recall so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Captain America that's gonna be. Yeah, Chris Evans. Yeah, he's
It's gonna feel weird.
Yeah, but then again, you didn't grow up watching Patrick Warburton as Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it's a complicated discussion, but then again, like I can understand the sentiments of the animators.
For sure.
So with that said, I'd like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, how do you feel about the comments that the Pixar employees have done regarding Luca and Soul being on Disney Plus and not being on theaters? Do you side with them? Do you understand their sentiments? Do you not really care and just want to have your movie either way? Let me know what you think. Let's see. I can absolutely understand why Pixar feels this way. For I do think this is kind of disrespectful for Disney to not put Luca or Soul in theaters and on Disney Plus at the same time. I also would be willing to pay $30 to watch Soul or Luca on Disney Plus instead of Cruella. However, I do at least understand why they're doing it with Black Widow, considering it's a huge and highly anticipated Marvel Cinematic Universe film, and because of the success of WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and the Loki series potential. Yeah, like some of their big movies, like Black Widow, that's perfectly understandable. And
sure.
even to a certain extent, like Raya was understandable as well, because it is a Disney animation movies. Like, those are usually motion picture events there. But some of the other ones, yeah, they can be...
Cruella is the most confusing.
Yeah, Cruella... Like, even Mulan has its excuse because it's expensive as F. Cruella, however, and I don't know. Let's see.
Weird.
I mean, the dudes have a point. I mean, Soul I get, since that was right smack dab in the middle of the second wave. But Luca, going off the vaccine rollout and Godzilla vs. Kong's success, there's a good chance it would have made a good amount of moolah. Hell, if you want my 2 cents, why not just give Luca a premiere access treatment? That way, they could still make some money from the film. Ah well, here's hoping Turning Red and Lightyear remain theatrical releases. Yeah, that's one thing I am more confident. Like, if not Turning Red, then Lightyear is definitely going to be released on the big screen.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they don't get too comfortable with this.
Yeah, exactly. And even like, like that also raises a good question. Why not, like, if not put it in theaters, then why not also just give it a, why not just do the premium access thing?
Yeah.
Like I said, it would have given it some form of value.
I would think so.
Let's see. I can absolutely understand why Pixar people feel this way. For I do think it is kind of disrespect. Did I read this one? Oh no, I did read that one. Sorry about that. I understand why Pixar is upset that these films got the boot to Disney Plus. But at the same time, it's not easy to release movies in movie theaters during these times. If Disney wants to make it fair for Pixar, maybe next time, Disney should release Pixar films in theaters and on Disney Plus, premiere access or not. No, if it's also going to be in theaters, then you got to do premiere access also, because if no premiere access, then most people are just going to go with
well,
Disney
you'd
Plus.
think, but that hasn't been that people could have watched Tom and Jerry on the small screen. It was released day in, and a lot of people went to the theater to see it. It's the same thing with Kong versus Godzilla. That was available at home. Same thing with all the HBO Max. That's the interesting thing, is that they've all done pretty well, and they've all been available same day.
Yes, but one thing that I could argue against that is that technically HBO Max is US exclusive. Like, yeah, they're able to afford to do that Meanwhile, in places like in Canada, like where I am, we don't have HBO Max. And what they do as an alternative is that they would release it digitally instead. And through digital, we have no choice but to pay for it. Like, if I would want to go and see Godzilla vs. Kong, but I want to stay at home, then I would have to go in some place like iTunes, and I would actually pay something like $20 in order to rent it and actually watch it. So at least with Warner Brothers, internationally, they do have a way to actually make money to compensate not having their movies be on the big screen and for people to watch it at home. So it's more of a different strategy. Whereas Disney, on the other hand, Disney Plus is available in most countries around the world. So if there's one place that is that you could just go and check it out for free, you can go and check it out for free everywhere around the world. Or even in the case of Raya, if it's premium access in the US, it's premium access all around the world. It's more of a complicated scenario, but it's more like you got to think in more of a global aspect.
That's fair, but they have shown that people, more than expected, I think, that people will still go out to the theater even if they can watch it online.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not denying what you say. Like, what you have stated, like, you're absolutely correct. But there is also another layer to it, at least in the case of HBO Max when comparing it to Disney Plus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's see.
And Disney Plus is different around the world as well.
Yeah, that is true.
Some places,
that is true. We got Star.
Yeah.
we could watch Family Guy and Die Hard on Disney Plus.
Know.
Oh, yeah. I personally understand their frustration of not being able to release their movies in theaters, but with the current situation with COVID and the dominance of streaming service, it's pretty much a wasted opportunity. Yeah, that is true. Let's see. I was surprised that you mentioned Phineas and Ferb because Candace Against the Universe wasn't really intended to be a theatrical release in the first place. The movie is just made for Disney Plus. I would like to know if you watch Phineas and Ferb or not. You should totally check it out. Now, I've heard a lot of great things about Phineas and Ferb, but I haven't seen it myself.
The one thing that I wonder is that how long will Disney Channel still exist? What's the point of having Disney Channel as a separate channel making content if you have Disney Plus? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it is true. I think I have heard in recent news that like that's slowly but surely dwindling. Like they are changing that format already, so I think they're on it.
Yeah, because I mean, it just makes no sense.
I'll read one more comment before we jump into the next story. Really, Disney? You don't see Pixar, who has made some incredibly successful movies, as being financially successful? I still don't know why Disney would treat Pixar like this. I can certainly understand why Pixar wants their movies in theaters, especially when compared to seeing a movie at home. Theaters are completely different experiences. Look at how people reacted to Endgame's portal scene in theaters, for example. That's something you cannot replicate at home. Oh, absolutely. That
for sure.
True right there. All right, so now with that done, it is now time we will jump onto the next story and head on over to something a little different. And I would like to ask you, Rachel, have you seen the Oscars last week?
I did. I was kind of watching in and out of it. I was sort of following on Twitter, and then I had it up on a tab, and so I was kind of doing other things and editing my podcast and something. So I followed it enough to know what was going on.
Yeah, how did you feel overall about the whole show?
You know, for the first hour or so, I was actually really enjoying it. I was like, this is more intimate, this is smaller, this is more enjoyable. And then the last section I was like, things have taken a turn. All that trivia, like, why are we doing all this trivia when we have, and then we're racing through the in memoriam?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Going fast and furious on all the names.
Like, I was joking on Twitter. I said, did somebody who forgot to take the in memoriam off of 2X? Because that's how it felt when you were watching.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then they have the best picture early, which was so weird. You're like, what is happening? This obviously should be the end. And then they make it seem like, oh, we're building up to Chadwick's gonna win or whatever. And then And then we have Anthony Hopkins win, and he's deserved, but it was just all handled so badly. And you also not only have that, but you have Joaquin Phoenix giving out the reward, and he couldn't care less. He seemed totally uninvested, and he's like, I've never really seen a good acting performance in my life. You're like, what? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And then Anthony Hopkins, and then that's it. It was over. They were like, bye,
Okay,
everyone.
bye.
So bad.
Yeah, it was terrible. But apparently there was some recent news, however, that is actually making things worse for the Oscars right now. And that is regarding the things that how they even handled the way with Anthony Hopkins' win. Apparently, it has been confirmed, an article on IndieWire did go down a lot into some of the things that happened at the Oscar. Excuse me. A lot of the things that has happened during the Oscars, and there was even at one point they did brought up about Anthony Hopkins' win and how it was just so short and just so unexpected and just so quick. And especially regarding the fact that Anthony Hopkins was just not there in general. And the big reason, the long story short about what happened was that Anthony Hopkins was not available to attend any of the places where they would host the Oscars. He couldn't fly to LA to be at Union Station. He wasn't even able to be in London to be at the BFI Theatre. Instead, he actually stayed at his home in Wales, where apparently he was on vacation to see his deceased father. So that's pretty much the big thing. But apparently his representatives, they wanted to have him do an acceptance speech through Zoom, where they want him to be there live and to give out his thanks. But apparently it was reported that the people at the Academy, the producers, they just flat out said no. They refused
Stupid.
they refuse any form of Zoom acceptance speech. And this was actually confirmed on Twitter by a New York Times journalist, Kyle Buchanan, to which he has stated here, I can confirm Anthony Hopkins offered to Zoom into the ceremony, and Oscar producers turned him down. But another rumor said Olivia Colman was ready to accept for him, which was, as near as I can determine, isn't true. She is busy shooting a movie and only showed up for her category. And that's pretty much it. So, of course, you may remember the day later when Anthony Hopkins actually woke up, because that's also another major thing, is that Anthony Hopkins literally slept through his win for Best Actor, for his second Best Actor, by the way.
And can you blame him? It's 4 a.m. and he's 83 years old.
Yeah, exactly. That also played a major factor. But in the case of Anthony Hopkins, a day later when he did wake up, he actually did give out his acceptance speech, and he gave out his, it was a quick 30-second thing on Instagram, and he even paid a very lovely tribute to Chadwick Boseman as well. So he finally did do his acceptance speech. He just wasn't able to do so at the Oscars, and the producers were actually preventing him to do so. So, Rachel,
Crazy.
How do you feel about that?
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they should have allowed him to give his speech. I mean, if you're going to allow people to live stream from different hubs or whatever, then what's the difference between letting him from Wales give his... I mean, we're in a pandemic. If there's ever a time to be flexible, this is it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I have heard before that, they have debated about, should everyone stay at home and we do, an in-home acceptance speech, kind of like with what the Golden Globes did this year, but they want to try to avoid that. And they want to do the best they can to have everyone gathered together as much as possible, where they were, they got their main hub where they got a few selected people to be there at Union Station in LA. They also filmed a little bit in the Dolby Theater, which was pretty crazy to see it completely empty during the Oscars, where Bryan Cranston was giving the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award to the Motion Picture and Television Fund, I believe. And also, like I said, the BFI Theater in London, where some people couldn't really travel, but for any of the European or British people that can't go directly to LA, then they got the BFI Theater to go and check out the Oscars. And if any people there in there won, then they could just go and head on down to BFI to see if they won and have their acceptance speech.
And I can understand making every effort to make that happen and having that be the goal. But nevertheless, when you're dealing with the situation that we are, and you have an 83-year-old winner that's in Wales that, you know, has other factors, he's their first father or whatever, then you need to, it's time to be flexible. I mean, that's just the current situation that we're in. It requires adaptability. It requires change. It requires doing things that are uncomfortable or that we wouldn't prefer or that we don't like. But you just have to do it because that's the situation that we're in.
Yeah, and also the irony, I just thought of this right now, that technically they did do the Zoom thing with other people. Granted, not at their homes, but I do recall like they were filming people in they were filming people in Paris. Like even the Wolfwalkers people, they were actually at Kilkenny Castle.
Right, exactly.
When Wolfwalkers was nominated for Best Animated Feature, it's not like they couldn't do it, but they were like you do see how they were doing remote filming as well. Like even though it's not ideal to do it at their homes, but still though, why not to actually have, like, especially when it's freaking Anthony Hopkins, when you have this 83-year-old man who is nominated for Best Actor. Like, granted, maybe they were still banking so much on the factor about Chadwick Boseman winning. Like, they were so keep in mind, the producers, even they were not aware about who would be the winner. So maybe there is a chance that like they refused because they knew that Chadwick Boseman would win anyways, and there's no point for that kind of guarantee. So now that he was
that blew up in their face.
Yeah, exactly. It really was a case of just egg on their, like, if that really is the case that they were just banking on Chadwick Boseman's win, then it really was just egg on their face.
And I think they said as much. I think the president came out and said, oh, well, we took a risk, but people are talking. And it's like, they're not talking a good thing. I mean, I guess any publicity is good publicity, but I don't think that's the case here, hardly at all.
No, not even. And I don't even see how this really paid off well, because even in terms of the ratings, it got down. Like,
oh, wow. By 50%.
No, by 58%.
Yeah.
Like, it really was that bad, actually. And at this point, like, I don't see what would be the kind of positives that you could really take away from that presentation. Like,
people are talking.
Yeah, I mean, people are talking, but I know by experience that when people are talking about you on the internet, that's not usually a good thing.
Right, yeah. Exactly. It's crazy.
So, yeah,
I don't know what they were thinking. And it would have been so good if they'd ended with Nomadland winning and you have Chloe, accepting the award for that one. It would have been her second Oscar that night. And then you have Frances McDormand winning too, and her howling at the end. Like, that would have been a really fun way to end the whole show off of. And it, instead of bye, we're done.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. Like when Nomadland won for Best Picture, that was like a nice acceptance speech where you see everyone together, and like you got a cute little memorable moment with Frances McDormand like howling right there. Like that would have been a fun way to go and conclude the show. It would have been nice, but the fact that they did not save that for last, it was so weird. And that's like one of the major signs that you do see when things got really off the rails. Like for a moment I thought that like this was some kind of legitimate mistake, like they're pulling off some kind of like weird La La Land or like a weird La La Land and Moonlight scenario that's like some kind of technical error.
This is worse than that, because that was an innocent mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an honest mistake. And this was like a calculated plan
Yeah,
that
it
they
was a
had.
calculated risk that really did not pay off well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like I can forgive somebody literally just reading the wrong name more than this attempt to have it end with Chadwick's big triumphant win at the end and to calculate it all and then fall flat on his face.
Yeah, not to mention also, I heard as well that apparently one of the packages that the members of the Academy received for being there, like they got this NFT of
Oh, yeah.
of like a golden bust of Chadwick Boseman.
So weird.
Yeah, that apparently someone stole off of the internet. But then immediately after Anthony Hopkins' win, they immediately switched it. They had to immediately make a last-minute change from Chadwick Boseman to something else. So
in the bags, they hadn't given out the bags yet.
I don't know. Well, it's NFTs. It's cryptocurrency, and even to this day, I still have no clue what the fridge is going on with those things. Like I just hear bad things about it, and I just want to the more I hear about those things, the more I just want to distance myself because it just sounds like way too much trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, I think so.
But
yeah, and then you had the did you see the reporter that asked Daniel Kaluuya what it was like to be directed by Regina King?
Oh yeah, that awkward moment. Or yeah, oh no, there's another one. Another awkward one. It was with Young Yoo Jun, where she won the best supporting actress, and some guy was there like, what does Brad Pitt smell like? It's like, what are you even doing?
And she's like, I'm not a dog.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like even the reporters were being a joke at this point.
Yeah, it was really bad. It's like if you have a little too much of the free alcohol. Been to the bar too many times. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's frustrating.
Usually that would be
frustrating.
I'm sorry, but I just want to say that's usually like the drinks would usually a thing that they would reserve for the Golden Globes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's frustrating as a film critic, like trying to be kind of a film pundit, editorial person. Then when you see people doing the job that you wish you had and doing it so badly that it's very frustrating.
Exactly. Like you like the thing is, it is the Oscars, and regardless of how people feel about award shows and stuff like that, you know, you do want to pay respects for the Oscars. You want the Oscars to actually mean something. But the
Like
more
I could have come up with better questions than that. I mean, I certainly would have known my and the other thing too is like if I had gotten something that big wrong, because we all have our epic, face palms in life.
Mm-hmm.
I would just immediately own to it. But she had a chance to correct it. And then later on Twitter, she's all saying, oh, no, I didn't miscommunicate. I wanted to get your opinion on Regina King not being nominated. And I'm like, well, then why did you say, what is it like being directed by her? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, some people just don't want to own up to their mistakes. It's like, no, I meant to say that. Yeah, I meant to say Regina King, yeah. But overall, I think this is just one of the many examples of how this is just an absolute mess. Like, this year's Oscars, and I do agree with you, I really did enjoy it for the most part, where it did feel like it was a lot of fun, and it felt very respectful to the nominees, where we do learn a lot more about them on top of how they got nominated and stuff. It was very nice. But then suddenly, it just got off the rails, and it just shattered into pieces. And this is also another example that it could have been handled better, but even at that, I think it shows even the producers need full, they would actually take full responsibility on how bad it actually went. That they banked hard on who might have won. They want to try something different, but ultimately none of it paid off. It really did not.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it too yesterday because none of the award shows have been doing very well. The Grammys, the Golden Globes, all of them. And I think that part of it, there's just too many awards. People get tired of Hollywood congratulating themselves. I mean, there's just so many. Even something like do we really need country music to have two of their own award shows plus
Yeah.
the Grammys, you know? There's so many. There's too many.
Yeah, even though I have to admit, I don't know if you have seen it, like, even with the Annie Awards, I tried watching it this year, but then after we seen, like, the little gags from Josh Gad, I was like, nope, I'm bailing out on this one.
Yeah, I usually just follow it on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Just wait until the list of winners come out, and I do agree. Like, the more award shows are popping out, the less meaning that they do actually have.
Yeah. So just
Yeah.
narrow it down.
Yeah, exactly. So overall, let's go into the chat wall, and I want to ask you all, how do you feel about the way that the Oscar producers have handled the situation, especially with Anthony Hopkins' accepted speech on Zoom that never happened? I know we talked about it a little bit in the last episode, but I would like to know a bit more. How do you feel with this new piece of information? Let's see now. Boy, was the Oscars a big disaster. I wish that Chadwick Boseman could have won an Oscar instead of Anthony Hopkins. I never watched The Father, nor have I seen No Man Land, but I might give them a watch. No, definitely should. And I mean, like, even with
Good films.
it's Anthony Hopkins. Like, I don't think there's a reason why not to give him an Oscar. So, anyways, I never liked this year's Oscars because it was kind of boring, but hopefully things will start to brighten up at next year's Oscars and the return to the Dolby Theater like Bryan Cranston said. I wonder if Shrek will appear at the next year's Oscars announcing the nominations for Best Animated Feature. Well, then again, if it is to celebrate, like, the 20th anniversary, it could have been this year. Like,
Yeah.
technically. Let's see. I've said this before, but I will say it again. The Kids' Choice Awards is better than this year's Oscars. Ouch, man. As far as I'm aware, they never once made a controversial moment, and they are the least respectful to the people they hired, like John Cena, and they knew the events and activities they would present, and things went smoothly for them. The Oscars this year have driven on a very rocky road. Yeah, that's, well, I mean, with Kids' Choice Awards, like, no one should go and take that seriously, but at least they are self-aware of what they are.
Right.
Let's see. This really just makes things even worse for the Oscars. I honestly do not blame Anthony Hopkins for what happened, and I do understand why he won, even though I think Chadwick Boseman should have won. It just feels disrespectful to Anthony Hopkins, and it just feels flat-out disgusting to Chadwick Boseman's legacy. To quote Patrick the Pirate, "The Oscars betrayed us!" You just see people in their trophy rooms. I'm getting rid of all of it! All of it! Oh, let's see now. Let's be real here. This was a terrible move and more proof that the ending to this Oscars was destined to blow up in its own face. Though to be fair, it's not as bad as the Chadwick Boseman NFT. Right there is another whole bag of worms. But at the end of the day, there is one minor positive to Hopkins not making a speech. No one would have topped Daniel Kaluuya. That speech right there was beautiful. Oh yeah, no denying right there. He put out such a great speech.
Felt so sorry for his mom, though. That was kind of embarrassing.
Oh my god. Probably one of the most meme-worthy moments, though. Like, you're gonna see so many gifs of, like, the reaction of his sister and his mom. Oh, let's see now. I think we all agree that this year's Oscars was a mess, and that ending was complete bonkers to this day. However, seeing how the producers treated Hopkins over on that Zoom call part is downright bad. Even if I still wanted Chadwick Boseman to win instead of Hopkins, it is still terrible to this day. Alright, I'll read one more comment before we jump into the final story. The thing about the Hopkins win is that it's voted by members. Most likely, it's a case of the Oscars so white. The producers were banking on Boseman, and the result ended with Hopkins. Exactly, and that's the biggest problem, is that the producers were expecting something that they don't know. And that's the big risk about trying to do something you don't know. Like, maybe it'll work out, but if it doesn't, man, it could go terribly for you.
Yeah. It was not a good call. Yeah.
All right. So with that said, it is now time we will jump onto the grand finale. And this, I will say, is an interesting discovery. Like, when you first heard about the idea of this movie, do you feel like it was necessary?
Which one are we talking about? We got a couple different ones proposed to us. The last one.
Yeah, the last one I have is a
Oh,
trailer.
the rock. Okay. Yeah. So I definitely don't think this is necessary, even though I actually enjoyed the original for what it was.
Yeah, this is pretty much a name that not many people would expect to hear once again, but here he is, making a big comeback on Blu-ray and DVD, Rock Dog 2, Around the Park.
Yeah, this screams like direct to DVD. Like I said, I thought the original had some fun moments and it was entertaining enough.
Really, Dad?
But this just looks really bad. Lionsgate is the worst.
Yeah, let's get back into the trailer now.
What? I was just, still feeling the energy of the gig. Whoa. He came from the sky. I'm a big fan of your son's music. I want Bodhi and True Blue to open for Lil Foxy.
The Little Foxy?
Who?
Whoa.
Oh, let the boy have his dream, Compa.
Whoa. We have the best tour bus in the world. Wow.
I've run the numbers. I think you can headline the Save Rock and Roll Park benefit concert if you're willing to make a few changes.
Changes? Be bodacious. This is what it takes to make it.
This summer, with that musical blue energy, I could control the music world. It's showtime.
From the award-winning producers of Clifford the Big Red Dog,
Show him he can't take anything from you.
comes an adventure about
Something is wrong. Snow Mountain is angry.
Let's go.
banding together.
Can you forgive me? I wanted it so badly that I forgot who I was.
Finding your voice.
True Blue together?
You too, Francis.
True Blue forever.
And staying true to you. Let's do this.
It's not the dog in the fight. It's the fight in the dog. Just believe in yourself. Like I do.
I will, Dad.
Rock Dog 2, Rock Around the Park.
Look what we had made for you!
On June 11th, get...
Yeah, that was Rock Dog 2. So you said you liked the original?
I did, yeah. I liked it. I thought it was. I tried it. I feel like I'm sort of a defender of these sort of these smaller budget CGI films. I review the Barbie movies on my channel. I enjoy them. I liked the first Son of Bigfoot. I thought it was really actually quite clever. And I enjoyed this. I mean, certainly not all of them. Like there was one this year called Charming, which was terrible. But then Rock Dog, I thought was cute. Yeah, I did. I liked it.
Okay. Admittedly, I've never really seen the movie. It kind of seemed generic, but if it has its charm, if it works out, then it works out. Now, one thing I will state, however, is that apparently with Rock Dog, it actually does have a bunch of recognizable celebrities that are voiced in there. Like I remember, apparently J.K. Simmons is in there. Eddie Izzard, I believe, also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. It's been a while since I saw it, but.
Yep. Yeah. Well, if you could look it up, like that would be great, also. And one thing that I can guarantee you, however, is that nobody is back for this. You will not find a single celebrity for Rock Dog 2.
No, and the trailer just looks so generic that, yeah. I think Bryan Cranston is in the original. I'm pretty sure is his dad. I could be wrong on that, but...
Yeah, that is true. So. Yeah, someone mentioned Eddie Izzard, J.K. Simmons, Lewis Black, Luke Wilson, and Sam Elliott as well. So, yeah, a bunch of recognizable people. And that, the funny thing is that with Rock Dog 2 is that you know, I have a lot of criticisms, like, from what I've seen, but the thing is, the trailer spells it out for me. Like,
It's J.K. Simmons, actually. It's his dad. I messed up. J.K. Simmons.
Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, this just looks so lame.
Yeah.
He becomes famous.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they work that into so many...
It's the typical stay true to yourself kind of story, you know, like...
Yeah, and you see that in so many children's films. People becoming famous is like the big conflict, and I don't really understand why. Like, for instance, with Lizzie McGuire movie, like, why did they decide that why can't she just have an amazing experience in Europe? Why is that not enough of an exciting experience for a young girl? Why does she have to become a pop star? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, we've already heard these stories way too many times going through the same thing, and, like, even the movie spelling it out, like, the cliched moments is like, I have to do everything in order to make it big. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna become a jerk.
Yeah, like, they go through that. It's like, we pretty much got the whole movie in this one shot, and by the way... Like, just wondering, is that a thing in the first movie with this whole blue energy kind of thing from his guitar?
There was, I think, a little bit of that, but I think they're taking it to another level on this. It's been a while since I saw it.
Yeah, because, like, there is some weird aspects. It's like, I guess it's a way to make it stand out in a sense, other than its Chinese aesthetic, where they want to go, where, like, apparently this blue energy that radiates out of the main character... Like, right now, the villain apparently is the big sheep manager that wants to steal that energy and rule the world.
There's nothing like that.
Yeah, it's just like, what is even happening? It's like, is this a thing that's going on with with the first Rock Dog? Overall, for me, it's just like, it makes it feel confusing, especially, like, even by Rock Dog standards. As someone who has never seen the first movie, it's just, it leaves me with more questions than answers, and not in a good way. And like, I understand, like, probably the animation is a lot better in the first movie than this, because yeah, this is like undeniably direct to home media quality, which essentially that's what it is. They even mentioned that it's going to be in June, in mid-June, that they're just going to be releasing it on Blu-ray, on DVD, and digital. I don't think they're going to have any, like, streaming plans or anything like that, so... Yeah, just Blu-ray, digital, and DVD, and that's pretty much it. Nothing...
Yeah, like, who is home premiering on demand? Who's like, gotta see this day one, $30. Like, what?
Gotta get the premiere access.
Yeah.
Need to be the first to see Rock Dog 2 rock around the park. I need to see a dog dressed up like Elvis. Yeah. Oh,
I don't think that many will. I don't know. Just guessing, but what do I know?
Who is even asking for another Rock Dog movie? That's the better question.
It's just the first one made more money than it should, and so then they make a second one. It's the same way with The Nut Job or
Norman
I don't know, just all that level of animation. I mean, they did a second Son of Bigfoot, which was terrible, and that was disappointing because I liked the first one quite a bit.
Is that the Bigfoot family that just came out?
Yep. It wasn't very good. So that was disappointing because I kind of championed the first one. I thought it was really a lot better than you think just from looking at it, and I enjoyed it. But
you betrayed me, Bigfoot.
But the second one, it was just like I hate these animated films where the excuse for comedy is just a lot of shouting. Yeah. So that's supposed to be funny, is we're just screaming all the time.
Yeah, but then again, it suddenly makes sense when you look into the credits and then it says, directed by Doug Walker. I was like, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't.
No, I completely understand. It feels like...
that's what I feel about the Minions, too, is it's just like, so grating.
The first Minions, or...
No, the Minions movie.
Oh, the Minions, okay, yeah. All right. Personally, I am a fan of those films, actually. Like, it's not, like, yeah, the Minions movie I do find to be the weakest of the Despicable Me bunch, but...
I really disliked it.
Yeah, like, yeah, maybe not for everyone, but, I liked it fine. But, yeah, with Rock Dog 2, however, I just don't see the point. I don't see the point why we need another Rock Dog. I don't see, like, why are they even going in this direction? It's just... I feel like its existence really does confuse me. And, like, especially that, like, how long ago was the last Rock Dog? Like 7 years ago or something like that? Not 7 years ago, but like in 2017 or something? Like, do people still remember Rock Dog existing?
No. Somebody mentioned Cats Don't Dance in the comments, but Cats Don't Dance is actually fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's in a different league, in my opinion, at least. I think it's I've been doing a top 50 animated films countdown, and Cats Don't Dance made my list of my top 50. I love it. I love the music. I love the animation. I think it's great.
Man, I used to love watching that as a kid, but admittedly, it's been a long time since I've actually seen Cats Don't Dance.
You should do it for one of your throwbacks.
Yeah, I should, definitely. Like,
it's really good. I think it's way underrated. I really do. If it was Disney, I think it would be one of the beloved classics. I really do.
Oh yeah, no, like I know nowadays it has a major cult following, of course.
Yeah.
No, but no, like one day I should just like rewatch it. In fact,
You should.
Eventually, like that should be one thing I'm surprised that they have yet to do. Like Warner Archives should release it on Blu-ray. I don't think they've done that yet.
Mm-hmm. I know they should.
But
I would love to see it again.
Oh yeah.
Somebody in the chat. Rock Dog 4, the final rock chapter.
The final rock chapter. The final rock down. Oh my god.
Yeah. So you put it on your calendars now. Rock Dog 2 coming this summer.
Yay! Oh boy, more Rock Dog.
Would this get the animated seal of garbage?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. First of all, I need to double check on how the first movie is if I would have to put my thoughts on how they would do with Rock Dog 2. I need the continuity of the world of Rock Dog.
Yeah. You might not have any idea of what's going on. The plot is so deep.
Yeah, I mean, like, even just watching this, it's like, what is even happening?
Yeah, it does not look good.
Yeah. So, with that said, let's go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, how do you feel about this trailer of Rock Dog 2? Are you actually excited to see this? Are you as confused as I am? Let me know what you think on this. All right, let's see what we got. So, are the trailer narrators now reversed for direct-to-video movies now? Don LaFontaine and Mark Elliott deserve better. First, bobbleheads, now this. But yeah, Luke Wilson played the main character in the first, but his brother Owen made better film choices. The new voice actors are played by My Little Pony actors, and they deserve a better legacy than these movies. Yeah, I don't care for this, and it will quickly be forgotten into the bargain bin or be reviewed by Bob's show. Yeah, I get, yeah, I like just to give you context, Rachel, I did talk about like the passing of Mark Elliott and a little bit of the history about voice narrators in trailers and how it stopped after 2008 after the death of Don LaFontaine. And we are seeing a bit of a comeback, but only for these direct-to-video movies.
Yeah, have you ever seen that documentary about voiceover? The it's Lake Bell.
Is it I Know That Voice?
No, that's really good too. That's about voice acting. No, it's about she decides she's gonna.
Is it the one that like the woman voice actor that wants to do like trailer voices or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard about it, but I haven't been in there. I know.
In a World, and it's Lake Bell. And it's interesting. She brings up the fact that certain things in our society are always male voices, like theater trailers, for example. But certain things are always female voices, like answer machine services, for instance, almost always, or GPS is almost always female. Yes. And I'm like, that's so true. That's so weird.
Yeah, it is true, actually. Let's see what else. May I ask why? Why another Rock Dog movie? I forgot that the first one came out in 2017, yet it's already forgettable at best, and I haven't even seen the first one. I'm not sure if Lionsgate wanted to treat Rock Dog as the next norm of the norm in terms of pumping sequels in direct-to-video movies, Though it won't be as bad as those ones. But still, who asked for this? Sorry, not checking this out anytime soon.
It's like, please help us.
Yeah, why are you even sorry about it? But, I do have a big question for this movie. Why does it say Clifford the Big Red Dog there? I thought the live-action Clifford movie wasn't released yet. I feel like Rock Dog 2 is taking it too serious to be a franchise. I never watched the first Rock Dog movie, though. Maybe I'll give it a watch. But a Rock Dog 2, I don't think so. And I feel like the fans are going to make Rule 34 of Little Foxy. Yikes. Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately, that would depend if Saber Spark would pick this up. Like, if he would, then you know it's going to get those people's attention for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, the whole idea of him becoming famous, it's just not that interesting. Like, it could be good. It's possible, but didn't look great.
But it does raise up a good question. Like, why is a major selling point is the fact that this is from the people that brought you Clifford the Big Red Dog?
Is that like an old thing that they, from way back when, before things got changed, maybe?
I don't know. It's
weird.
Is it like a big marketing tactic to really get people into watching this movie by promoting that it's from, it's like, yo, man, the dudes who made Clifford the Big Red Dog, they did this. If they can do well with Clifford, they can do well with Rock Dog.
Yeah. Doesn't tempt me, I can tell you that.
Yeah. But Clifford, though, they did Clifford. Maybe Clifford might have a cameo. Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, like, the Rock Dog is putting out some big blue energy. Maybe Clifford will rock out some big red energy.
Hey, yeah, maybe.
Let's see now. I've never watched the original. I heard it was just okay, so I probably won't be watching the sequel. The only thing I remember about the first movie is all the endless complaints for AniMat's to review it, so I hope you're ready for that to start all over. Yeah, I don't think that'll happen again, but oh my god, that is so true, though. Man, back then, I've had people begging me to review this movie. Even though it wasn't released in theaters, I had no way of watching it, so it's like, sorry, can't help you.
It wasn't released in theaters? It was released here.
I don't think so. At least not near my theaters at all. I don't know. It was a weird thing.
Yeah.
All right, I'll read one more comment now. Let's finish this off. Let's see. Who can I go? Yeah, why not? Seriously, what's with all the movie studios and unnecessary sequels, especially a movie that AniMat did not review yet for years? Rock Dog ditched all celebrities for Canadian voice actors. But then again, hey, the one who's winning in all this is the Canadian voice actors. At least they're getting a job out of it.
That's true.
And with all that said, that should do it for this episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. And may I say, Rachel, thank you so much for joining me on this. It definitely was a fun episode.
This was a blast. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and one more thing, by the way, before we go, if there are people that are interested in following you a bit more, where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. And like I said, I am doing that top 50 animated films countdown right now. Also, I have monthly. I have my Talking Disney series with my friend Stanford. And then we also do an obscure animation where we talk about a lesser known, underappreciated indie animated film. And then I also am the founder of the Hallmarkies podcast, which is a totally different kind of thing, but it's a lot of fun over there. It's a popular podcast that I do.
All right, awesome.
And at Rotoscopers.
Oh, yeah, Rotoscoper, that little website right there, yeah. Yes, and with that said, tune in next week for more fun adventures and more fun stories to talk about in this podcast. So with all that said, I would like to say thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, see you later, dudes.
Bye, everyone.